So the Xbox Showcase announced a lot of exciting titles, but one that stuck with me was Grounded 2. Now, I never made it through the first Grounded game due to a bunch of different things, so my buddy Aaron and I have been playing through it recently, and he's been carrying me through the entire experience. It's been one of the funnest games I've ever played, and it's fun like no other. I can't think of a comparable title to this game because it's so unique in its own right of being shrunk down and being like, it's just a very unique experience. And the amount of clips I've gotten from this game is absolutely insane. I mean, one of my most viral clips ever has come from this game, and it's just me throwing a hammer at an orb weaver.
Aaron, they are right there. They're on you. They're on you, Aaron. They're beating you up.
I had something to do.
Something bad's happening.
They can't even reach me and shit. F you, you fucking bird.
Shoved him in the water.
As much as I could say about the first Grounded being amazing, it isn't actually the topic of the video. I want to talk about Grounded 2 and everything that I noticed from their showcase footage that they released. Now, there's like 3 different showcases. There's an IGN one, there's one by Xbox that's more of like a podcast, and then there's actually just the announcement trailer, which doesn't show anything hardly. So I'm going to kind of bounce around between those 3 and show you what I found. Now, some of this stuff is literally, they stated it, so I'm just going to be reading it off to you. There's some notable details that I want to share with you guys, like number 1, the map size. Honestly, I never had an issue with the map in Grounded 1. I think it's plenty. I'd say it's even above average. It's huge.
Oh no, man, that's huge.
No, but seriously, the map was adequately sized for having no traversal. There was no vehicles, there was no cars, there was nothing you could build. You had to walk around this entire map, and it was plenty. In the showcase, they literally announced the fact that the map size has smashed the backyard map size, being 3 times bigger than the original, roughly. And just the starting area is apparently the exact same size as the entirety of the backyard map from the first game, so that smashes the entire map in general. Now, another thing they shared is the fact that it's going to be set in a park. I love the idea of it being set in a community park because it brings so many ideas to life which can't really exist in someone's backyard, because it wouldn't make any sense, which they actually say that in the showcase, but again, there's still so much more you could do with it than they mentioned, and I'm going to be sharing my own ideas in this video of what I think could be really cool to be added to the game. There's a lot of things that they execute that you couldn't execute in the backyard, like the whole ice cream thing, which I'll get into later, because there's such an abundance of all this, it's really not going to add up and feel very real, but again, you really could. But I still like the idea of it being in a park, being a lot bigger, and it has, I mean, trust me, you ever been in a local park, there's a lot more bugs. Something I thought of and I think would be really cool is if you have something like a massive animal or a human even walk onto the map, like a super rare interaction, maybe a 1 in 1,000% chance that it pops up and make it either a boss fight or again, just something where it's like, oh, I dropped this, whatever. Just something, it could be a really cool Easter egg in my opinion, where something or someone would walk up onto the map. Now, making it a boss fight would be a little difficult because more than likely it would have to be a child, because it couldn't just be massive. You couldn't just barely walk up to a shoe. And fighting a child in the park doesn't sound like a good idea. But again, I'm just spitballing ideas. There's plenty more where that came from. That's not the good idea, all right? That one's an okay one that I thought of. That's the first one. The first one's never right. Another thing I thought of was if someone left their vape in the park. A serious idea would be something like the entire playground area, much like in the sandbox in the first game. You could add toys that kids left in the playground, but actually make them interactable, unlike the ones that are in the first game. Like cars even. What if you had Hot Wheels that you could get in and actually drive around? Maybe if there's a body of water to use it in, maybe a boat. Maybe RC cars or boats where you could drive your buddies around or carry the remote in with you and ride around in it. There's ways you could do it where it would kind of make it realistic, because I know in real life you can't just hop in a damn Hot Wheel and it just run. But at the same time, is this game that realistic? We're talking humans the size of ants. You could add stuff in and just make it fun and not have to ruin it by trying to make it real. But that's just a little idea, you know what I mean? I think an RC car and you carry the remote in with you would be a lot more realistic, and it would be cooler because then you could drive your friends around or drive them into some dangerous shit. It would be a clip farm like crazy. I also think a really cool idea would be if they added fireworks, like those little poppers you throw at the ground in real life, make it like a bomb. You could toss it and maybe it would blow up all kinds of shit. But I mean, again, realistically, those poppers would be massive and you probably couldn't throw them. You'd need to launch them out of a catapult, which would be a cool thing to do too, add a catapult in the game. There's just a lot to build off of it being in a park. And I just thought it would be really cool to kind of spitball these ideas because why not? I'm not going to use them. Hopefully the game director for the game will see this and he'll start throwing these ideas into a hat and pulling them out and using them. What do you know? Now, something that they did announce that I thought was really cool is the frozen tundra. Now, there's this ice cream stand that got flipped over into the new map, and this is a perfect example of things that you couldn't really execute in the backyard, comparing it to the new. This is going to be amazing. In the footage, they show you fighting scorpions, which I'll get into all the new bugs later. Also breaking up chocolate chips with a hammer for some reason, and I think different environments like this could bring different resources. For example, like the chocolate chip, you could make some kind of glue trap with a melted chocolate to trap like aphids or weevils, and well, weevils actually like dog food in real life, but still, again, it's just a cool idea. You can make some kind of mouse trap or some shit to catch food. Also, another thing, it being like a snow area, that's just really cool because different environments mean different armor. You're gonna need something to keep you warm. And also on top of that, you're gonna need different weapons because all the enemies are probably gonna have different weaknesses. It's really just turning into Elden Ring before my eyes, bro. Can we get a bleed build? Another area that you can spot in the distance, but they don't show too much, I think you do see a bit of footage of them standing on top of it, is the picnic table. I think this would be a really good place to build a base, in my opinion, because, I mean, you get unlimited food. Now, in real life, these things get swarmed by carpenter bees and ants, so I don't really set at them, but hopefully the game's not going to be that real, and you know, just keep them away from me, maybe. I still think there's a lot of areas that you can kind of go, okay, well, more than likely, the damn ice cream isn't going to have anything more than maybe some ants and, yeah, I guess a scorpion all of a sudden, if you were going to be realistic about it. You could really put a lot more thought into where you want to build your base, and especially it's going to be a lot more important seeing that the map is so big. You kind of have to be a little more careful on where you pick to put your base, comparing to the first game where it was like, okay, I'll just throw this wherever I want. Me and Aaron haven't even made a base. I don't know why I even care about a base. Now, speaking of getting swarmed by bugs, let's talk about the bugs. They're bringing back a lot of the old bugs from the original game, like the orb weavers, the wolf spiders, all the different type of ants, and that's not a bad thing, but it did scare me a little bit, because again, being an Elden Ring fan, I'm kind of tired of recycled content, but if you look closely, there's a lot of new features. A lot of these old bugs learn new tricks. For example, like the orb weaver has this new webbing shield that he holds up in front of him. I'm not a fan of this, but not because it's bad. I hate fighting the orb weavers already. They're already strong. They make my skin crawl, and I don't need them any stronger, bro. They didn't need that. Also, something I'm really excited to see as well is the graphical upgrades that all these bugs got. You can kind of notice like the wolf spider looks a lot hairier than the first game, and it's a lot closer to real life if you've ever actually seen one, because they are kind of fuzzy. Same with the orb weaver, a lot more detail in their pattern. They look just a little bit, I don't know, scarier, realistic. But some things didn't really look any better graphically, like the damn weevils, bro. They look as goofy as ever. Same old, same old. Same with the ladybugs, there's not much you can really do with that either. But here's the exciting part of this, the new bugs. First and foremost, the scorpion. Now, a few people were talking in the YouTube live stream that was going on saying, why is there a scorpion in a park? That doesn't really make any sense. But if you live in the South like I do, we all know that black scorpions do exist. So next time you and your family's playing outside in a park or somewhere where they can burrow themselves in sand or rocks, just remember that they're there. If you live in the South, they are there. They're always watching. Basically like an armored spider with a tail, dog. So just keep that in mind next time you're having fun outside. No, but seriously, they're not as common. If I go out in the woods right now and start flipping logs over, I may not find one for a long time, but eventually I will. But these different variants don't really make sense. Like I think I seen one with a little bit of a red tint, and I don't know if there's one with a yellow tint. That's more of like way more sandy kind of area. But again, we're talking about a game that you're getting shrunk down to the size of a damn molecule. Like, it doesn't matter really. I still think it's kind of cool if they kept kind of semi-realistic, but it just doesn't matter. It's fun, and I think scorpions are kind of cool. They freak me out, but it's just because they can kill you. I mean, that's reasonably to be scared of them. Now, I'm least excited about these specifically because the amount of things they can attack you with. The thing about it is I'm sure they're going to hold up their claws like a shield during you fighting them, and then they're going to hit you with tail, or they're going to grab you with their damn claws. And something that this means is that we're more than likely going to get better attack patterns from all the bugs instead of them doing the same move over and over and over like the first game. In the first game, honestly, if you fight anything, you can just parry the same old move. It's going to do the same lunge at you or whatever. There's not much difference. There may be some differences in some, but it's rare. The ladybug has the most variety, in my opinion, because it does like the little dash, or maybe it'll come at you straight. But the spiders, all the stuff like that, they do the same moves, honestly. Especially those things that are in the sandbox, they do literally the exact same move. But we could potentially see a lot more different swings from all the different bugs, and hopefully we will, because I don't want to see the same attack over and over and over. And another thing that the game adds is this dodging ability. You can actually kind of dash away or dash in, and they kind of show this off again for that feature of being either to retreat or to jump in and help your buddy. And I really like this feature. Again, something that they're kind of pulling from Elden Ring or something like that, where you can dodge in and out. The only thing they're missing is a roll, because it's more of like a dash. I'm sure you won't be invincible when you're dashing either, because I'll just spam the shit. But I'm really excited to see how that changes up the combat, because there may be some attacks that you can't dodge, or maybe you can't block it. It would flip and flop between the two, and then you would either have to dodge for some, or you would have to parry. And it's just a really cool idea, because you only could do one or the other, like a lot of games do. Like Sekiro, where the big red dot will pop up and you have to roll instead of trying to parry it. It could be something cool like that. Now, the one I'm most excited for is probably the Prey Mantis that's coming to the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want a Prey Mantis in real life, but these things are really, really cool. Prey Mantises run fades with every type of bug you can imagine. Prey Mantises kill wasps, bees, hornets. Prey Mantises will kill anything that they can get their hands on, pretty much. So I'm going to make one of these my friends immediately, because if you guys also see in the trailer, you can tame animals and ride them. Now, you know how earlier I was mentioning the fact that the map is getting 3 times bigger and it was already kind of annoying to traverse around on foot around the original map? This is completely solving that issue. Now, I kind of do wish there would be some form of like a Hot Wheels you could find at the damn playground or something, just to have something cool where I could rip around in a damn, I don't know, Mustang. But the fact that I can ride a Prey Mantis and piggyback on him and run a fade with a bee, that's a lot cooler than any car you could add. I feel a lot safer, bro. I feel safe and secure, like a bug under a rug. It's kind of ironic. Another thing we're getting that kind of makes my skin crawl is caterpillars. I don't like caterpillars. I never have. They've always made me super uncomfortable, dude, because they're just, some of them are spiky and hairy, and some of them are smooth and just look like a slug. I hope they don't have a whole lot of variety within the caterpillar specifically. I don't want to see one of them damn fuzzy ones, dude, because I'm going to freak out if it touches me in the game or not. The one that is shown in the trailer, and I think is going to be the only one, hopefully, pray to God and Jesus up above, he's already spiky. He's already spiky and weird as is. I don't want to see it. But the bonus of seeing caterpillars in the game is the fact that caterpillars always turn to butterflies. I am really excited to see if we can actually befriend the butterflies and maybe actually put a mount on them and fly them around. Because who doesn't like butterflies? It's going to be really cool to be able to fly, because as cool as it is to take the little dandelion parachutes and jump off of something and do that, it's not as cool as if I could actually fly up in the air on one and then jump down with a dandelion, bloom, or whatever they're called. Now, the biggest op of everyone that lives in an apartment complex right now is the cockroach. I didn't need the cockroach in the game either. Like, we needed it, but we didn't need it. I don't want to stare at these damn things. I hate roaches, dude. Don't even bring it near me. Keep it away from me. The thing that worries me about the roaches being added to the game is they're going to be extremely hard to kill, dude. They're going to be resistant to everything you can imagine. There's not going to be no bug spray around, and I've literally seen roaches survive bug spray many a times. They survive radiation. I don't think bug spray is going to do anything, so good luck. Also, another fun fact about cockroaches is they have an exoskeleton, so their body can take a whole lot of damage before they actually die. They have a hard shell of a body, so really either slashing or piercing it is either going to be the only way or impossible, and there's going to be no in between. I hope they make these not so hard to kill, but they're hard to kill in real life, so I hope they make it the most difficult thing in the game. I don't even know what a damn cockroach would be weak to, because even if you take a hammer and hit it, what are you going to do to it? The shit is just not going to be hurt. And another thing is cockroaches will live in water. They can fall in water and they're good. I mean, they can fly, all kinds of shit. Roaches are going to suck, dude. But something I think could be cool with these roaches is if you find a cockroach on something like an old soda can or a juice box, maybe a box of candy or something. I think it would be cool if the bugs were more of living around you than you just kind of running up on them doing nothing and then they want to kill you like the first game. I wish there was little interactives, like maybe he's breaking up the candy so he can haul it off for himself, and then either you sneak past and you steal it from him, or you kill him and take his shit. I think it'd be a really cool way to add a different variety of how you can do certain interactions to certain bugs. I think it'd be cool. What if a spider had a bunch of aphids or something in his damn web and you went and stole a few just because you need some food? Little interactables and little things that you can do within the map itself that makes the universe feel a little bit more alive. I think it would be really cool. Like, what if you just roll up and a prey mantis is wrapping up a damn bee, eating it alive? You know what I mean? There's little things that you could make this universe feel a lot more alive comparing to the first game, which kind of felt like you were on a big map with a bunch of bugs, and yeah, they would fight each other rarely, but you had to make them fight each other. They weren't just fighting off the rip. Now, another bug I've seen, what I believe to be, is a dragonfly. Now, this is going to be the beautiful in-between between a prey mantis and a butterfly. It's getting the beauty and the cool flying abilities and all that of the butterfly. Amazing bugs, but they also run fades with everything that I hate. just like the praying mantis. They kill wasps, bees, mosquitoes. Dragonflies are pretty damn invincible, and they're big. A lot of dragonflies are a lot bigger than your average wasp, bee, whatever it is. Usually they're a lot longer, especially a mosquito. They shit on a mosquito. Another guaranteed friend of mine to be had because they kill all this other shit. Now, I don't know if it'll be realistic, but I hope it is. On another note, I did notice that the building they created in the back looks really, really advanced. Well, the base, I guess I should say. Now, I'm sure you could recreate this in Grounded 1 with enough work, but I'm hoping they make the building and building UI a little bit better, comparing it to the first game. I'm not a fan of building super complex things in the first game, if building anything at all.
Something that I thought was really cool that was showcased in the trailer was the fact that if you get a worker ant as your pet or your mount or whatever it's called, instead of having to be so slow and do it all by hand and do it all primitive style, you actually have, like, you know, something to help you out. If they're not going to add chainsaws and power tools into the damn game, it might as well add something like an ant to help you, or even different bugs to do different things. Like, what if you can use the spider's webbing to hold together your building? What if you can use worker ants to actually chop down the trees and stuff, or, well, the grass, so you can get way more supplies to build with way faster? Hopefully they'll add something where you can send it out to go do that specifically. Like, you can send your worker ants out to specifically cut trees and bring them back, but they may not do that. I don't know, but that's just a hope.
Anyways, guys, I know this video is a little bit random. I know I didn't talk about too much other than just, you know, some bugs and some other bullshit, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I don't really have much else to say about the game until we see it firsthand, and I will be streaming it day one of release, so please, guys, stop by my YouTube channel or my Twitch channel. I mean, you're already on my YouTube channel if you're at the end of this video, but you can watch it in full screen on Twitch or, you know, the Shorts platform on YouTube, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye.